On today's episode, we're joined by Lisa Phillips, a woman with a story that's been hidden for too long. A former international fashion model represented by Ford Models, Lisa has graced the pages of top magazines and been featured in USA Today. But beyond the glamour lies a chilling truth. Lisa was trafficked into the elite circles of Hollywood by none other than Jeffrey Epstein. Today, Lisa opens up about the abuse that permeates the modeling world, the manipulation that traps so many, and the steps toward breaking free from this cycle. Tune in as she sheds light on the dark side of an industry and offers powerful insights on survival and resilience.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy. Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness, doing what they love and living the good life? So get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another great show on The Jump. All right. I'm going to tell you right now off the bat, if you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to a podcast, you have to go to my YouTube channel to see how beautiful this person is right now. She's got a great heart, great spirit. We've been having a lot of fun behind the scenes. Without further ado, I'm not going to hold you up. Lisa.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on. Super excited.
It's great to have you on. We were talking behind the scenes about your setup and what's new, what's happening with you. But like I said, you got to go check her out. I'm saying this because international modeling, you've been doing it around the world. Tell us about the modeling right off the bat. I got to ask. I just have to ask.
Well, the modeling business is super glamorous and fun. You get to travel the world and all that stuff, but it's a lot of hard work and people don't realize that you have to get up super early in the morning. You got to take care of yourself. You have to really take care of your skin, your body, your health, everything. It's kind of lonely when you're traveling. So there's lots of really downsides to it, but there's quite a few perks. So I feel like it's really an awesome career just because you're in charge of your success. And I think that's really important. You're not
best memory of the runway.
The runway. So I was such a runway girl. Like I did quite a few shows in New York and in Europe, but I was more of a TV commercial girl. So I was literally doing like 5 to 10 national TV commercials every year. And I loved it because I just always had this little sparkling personality since I was really little. And it really worked for me in the business. So I was more on the TV side and really enjoyed that.
You remember your first commercial?
Yeah. So when I was in Florida, I used to be the Uptons girl. It's like kind of like a Macy's in Florida called Uptons.
Okay.
I don't know, it's still around. It was like 20 years ago when I first started. But I used to do all their commercials in this big, studio with a sick wall. And I just thought I was like on top of the world, So yeah, that was kind of like my first commercials that I did back in Miami.
So I'm going to throw it back though. Born and raised, where are you from?
So born in Sacramento, California, but I only lived there for a couple months before I moved to England. And from there, my father's in the Air Force. So every 2 or 3, 4 years, we would move somewhere different. So we lived in Europe and we also lived in the States. So we kind of bounced back and forth. And I graduated high school in Belgium.
Okay. The little girl in you, what did you want to become? You didn't know you're going to be this famous model in fashion, or did you?
Yeah, I think I kind of always knew that I was going to be on camera, maybe in the fashion or acting world. I just always wanted to just be in front of the camera and have something that showed my personality. I was always that one like jumping in front of the camera, hey, doing all these fun things and doing cheerleading or dancing and stuff like that. And my family was like, okay, calm down. Yeah.
So you told us, traveling, Army, but what's your background?
Air Force, not Army.
Okay, Air Force. Yep.
Yeah. So my background, ethnicity or
Yes.
Oh, let's see here. So my mother is Indian descent. Her family was originally from Pakistan, actually, in India. They moved to Jamaica, and she has a little bit of English in her. I don't know. My test that I have Italian on that side, so I don't know. That's what she told me. Indian and a little English. And then my dad's side, his father is Jamaican and Scottish, and his mother was Norwegian mix or something. So I don't know. I'm all mixed up here.
So you're getting the best culture of all foods and things. So
Yeah.
I have to ask, favorite
Oh,
place to go eat? What's your favorite food?
That's a hard one. I don't have favorites because there's just so many good things to eat. I definitely love West Indian food, Indian food. I'm very big on Korean. I love Korean food and Japanese.
Nice. The reason I asked you about your culture is growing up,
Mhm.
getting into this industry and this thing. Tell us the pitfalls, the great things. 'Cause like you said in the beginning, it's not what we see on TV all the time about the
Yeah.
glam and everything. Do you remember trying out for different roles and not getting the part?
Oh, sure. Of course. I always had a really positive outlook of just, oh, if I don't get this one, I'll get the next one, or my time is coming. I always had that kind of little mantra. So I'm reading these like spiritual books when I was really young. But there's a lot of times when you go out for things and you don't get it, and it kind of stings a little bit, but you have to get used to that in this type of business. If you want to be in anything, entertainment, dancing, singing, acting, modeling, you're going to get a lot of rejection, and it's just part of the job. You go out for things that you're just not right for. It doesn't mean that you're, not as good as the person who got it. A lot of times it just comes down to what you look like, and how you talk or your body type or whatever it is. It has to fit into some type of mold. And sometimes it's just not you. So you kind of just need to understand that.
And how do you keep your confidence up?
I think confidence is built over time. So it doesn't always come naturally for people. I think I hit a lot of success kind of young. My mother entered me into pageants and things like that. And I started modeling in my teens. And when you get big successes, it builds on that. And then from there, you get more confident. But I think you have to kind of have a little mantra and talk to yourself and say, you've got this, you could do this. You're going to get there. Maybe you didn't get that job, but you're going to get the next one, and kind of have this self-talk where it motivates you and empowers you. And I really feel like it has to come from you, because a lot of times you're lucky if it comes from your parent or or siblings or friends, but most of the times it doesn't. So it has to come from you, in that self-belief where you don't have to tell everybody else what you're thinking or what you're planning, but it's got to be in there where like I'm gonna get there. It's gonna be my time and it's coming, and just know that it's going to happen. Not like, you know, it's going to happen tomorrow. Especially the youth today thinks everything's going to happen tomorrow or in 3 months. This is what I'm
Yeah.
dealing with in the modeling business. No, you have to know it's going to happen in the right time. That may not come for 2 months or 2 years or sometimes 5 years. And it's kind of just sticking with it. And I
So
just
what
believe
about
stick with it.
100%? But what about those? Because like you said, the new generation, there's always naysayers. You put a post out and they're like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" Or, "Oh, why is this like that?" What are you going to say to the naysayers?
It's just so terrible out there with social media. People are so mean behind their little computer, like typing away, just want to get at you, and you know that you're never going to know who they are, or where they're from, or even their story and their pain or what they're going through. Is I just think about it. Ooh, they've just got to be going through some pain or a hard time. So I tried not to have it affect me so much with the naysayers, but gosh, they can be cruel. But then that's also just having that kind of like a little bit of a shield and having things like bounce off of you. And that's not easy. That's totally not easy. Um,
It's
it's not.
not. It's not,
No.
especially in the industry that you're in. Because I totally get it. I used to do fashion shows and modeling and same thing, and
Mhm.
going for that audition. You walk in all confident. You open the
Oh, yeah.
door, and there's 50 people that looks just like you
Oh, just like you.
sitting in the room.
Yeah.
You go, "Oh, what do I got different than everybody sitting in this room?" And then
Right. No,
and then
it's totally like that.
and then you go for
That's what people need to understand, right?
you're right. And then you get that call, but it's only a go see number two. Doesn't mean you got the
Mhm.
part. It's
Oh,
down
the
to
callback.
is the callback, and you're down to you and somebody else, and then you don't get the part.
Yeah. And I always tell people it's about the callback. So if you're getting callbacks, that means you're doing good. That means you're going to get a job soon one day.
Right.
You just have to get the callbacks, because a lot of times with the callback, I mean, you may not be right for the part when you actually, go up for the part after the callback. So let's just explain. You have the audition or the castings, and then you have the callback. And with the callback, that's when they're trying to determine who's really right for the role. So it's not up to anything if you don't get that callback, right? You don't get that job, but it's so you can lead up to it. So just make sure you're honing your craft and getting your skills ready so that you can lead up to that.
And I'm going to ask you, Lisa, did you ever quit?
With the modeling, I never quit. Acting, I kind of took a step back from acting after I had a few things happen, and I just didn't feel like the business was right for me, and I wanted to take another path, which is really difficult for me because all I wanted to do was, acting, and I still look at it today, and I'm like, oh, should I get back into it? And people are like, oh, you should audition for this or that, and I'm just like, there's something about the entertainment and the acting world I've never really felt super comfortable with.
I understand. It's always there. But talk about having great people around you, having that system. How do you find the great people in the system around you? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We are happy to support Charles. Welcome to Immigrant Women in Business, where cultures collide and dreams thrive. At IWB, we connect diverse backgrounds, foster leadership, and drive economic growth. Our members break barriers, build bridges, and create success stories. Join us at IWB and be part of a movement that celebrates empowerment, creativity, and business excellence. Visit our website today. Together, we're stronger. Now back to the jump.
That's not an easy one for me because unfortunately I haven't had the best system and support in my life. And I feel like it's taken me a lot harder to get to where I need to be emotionally and spiritually, just because sometimes I just haven't had that. I don't know. It's hard for me. I just haven't had that parental or family support. Maybe just kind of the family that I was born into. That wasn't it wasn't what I had. And so it made my journey, I felt like, a lot harder, and it made you question yourself a lot more too when you don't have that, because then you kind of think of, well, where's my worth come from, So I think that's the most important thing in life, is that you have your family supporting you in everything that you do. Or if it doesn't come from your family, right? Having friends, that do.
And you'll find out, listening to you talk, you'll find out after a while, you'll weed out the bad ones, and the good ones will be there at the end of the day. Like you've been through what you have, and you're like, you know something? I've been through this, and you're not what I thought you were. Okay, nice to have you in my life. You learn something from you, and then move on from that person.
Oh, it's so true. And it's so hard to do that because I'm just the person, I just kind of love my friends so much, and I just hold on to them so dearly, and I want them around. But there comes a time, and family too, there comes a time I've had with family and with friends, good friends, that have said, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, and I'm not going to have you in my life anymore. And it's just like, it's like a divorce to me. It's like devastating, and I have to understand it from their point of view. Maybe they're going through something, or maybe it's just something they have to deal with. Maybe it has nothing to do with me.
All right. We're going to get to know you a little bit more. Yeah. Let's have some fun. Here we go. It's time for rapid fire. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. I love the face expression. But 2 minutes on the clock. Here's the thing, though. You get to ask your own questions.
Oh.
Here it is. You get to pick. Is it A, B, C, or D? And those are the ones I'm going to ask you. Which ones do you want? A, B, C, or D?
Well, what's the question?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, C.
C. All right, here we go. 2 minutes starts on the clock when I ask you the first question. You ready? All right, here we go. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Okay, so I like compliments that are about character. Those are what always makes me feel good. So if someone tells me I'm powerful, I've had someone tell me that I'm a very powerful person. They just looked at me one day, how I affected people. This was like literally 20 years ago. And they said, you're a really powerful person.
There you
And
go.
it always stuck with me. I was like, oh, that felt so good.
What's the best part of your mornings?
Meditation.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Never compromise on your integrity.
Worst fear?
Spiders. I hate them.
Dancing with Lady Gaga or dinner with Obama?
Dinner with Obama. I want to learn things.
What's your favorite ice cream?
I don't like ice cream. I'm not an ice cream person, but every now and then, if I ever am near a Haagen-Dazs, I always check to see if they have chocolate peanut butter. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. Every now and then they do. And I always get a cone. Doesn't matter where I am. I always get one.
There you go. Favorite childhood memory?
Well, we used to go boating a lot. My dad had a boat, a sailboat, and we used to go boating like in the Panhandle in Florida. And I used to really enjoy that. It was all
okay. What's your favorite drink?
Kombucha, ginger kombucha.
Your fondest memory as a kid, something that you always remember, smell, touch, feel, when you see it, just reminds you of a little kid.
When we lived in Belgium, we used to go to Tenerife. It's a little Spanish island, off the coast of Europe and Spain and stuff. And this was awesome. It had black sand beaches, and I always remember that.
All right, last question. I got to hear this one. Are you good with budgeting?
Yes.
I
have to be. I'm a single parent with 3 kids that like to spend and shop and eat and all that stuff. So
yeah. There you go. You made it through rapid fire.
I did. Yeah.
All right. I got to ask this question. You're good with budgeting, but you're a fashion model. You should have all these clothes and fashion bags and all that stuff. So how do you do it then? Oh,
trust me, I do. Yes. But many years when I was, raising my kids on my own, I just spent on my kids, and I barely spent that much on me, but that's over. Lately, I've just been pouring into me, and yeah, I've been getting those shoes or those bags I want, or, setting up the podcast studio and splurging a little bit more on me. And it actually feels really good.
That's good to know. Now, here in your bio that you guys sent over, fashion is not all fun and glam and entertainment world. You want to talk about a little bit about that and let us know, tell us your story.
Yeah. So, I do think that the modeling entertainment business is very glamorous and rewarding, and it feels good when you book that job and you're building your career. I just feel like there's nothing like it for those of us who are ambitious in that way and, kind of want to be in the spotlight. But I feel with that, there comes a lot of responsibility to, feel things out, be aware of the room, and, advocate for yourself and have a little bit of a sixth sense about things. And it takes a long time to learn that. We don't always learn that in our youth, but, experiences will build on that. And through that, you'll kind of figure your way and maneuver your way through this business a little bit easier.
So I'm looking at your bio, and then, you talked about things that happen in the industry, like sex trafficking and all this stuff. And then we learn about, okay, what can you learn from it? And how do you move on from that sort of things? Like, what did you do and how do you learn in teaching others right now?
Well, unfortunately, I had to learn the hard way about things. So I had something happen to me, when I started out as a model. And then I kind of suppressed it for a long time. And then when I started speaking out about it, I realized that there were predators out there who were wanting to prey on people who were vulnerable. And so I had this light bulb moment of just I need to speak about this, not just because of what happened to me years ago, but because it's still happening as you hit your 30s and 40s. And women, when they go through vulnerable times, there are people out there who want to emulate or copy these predators. They want to be like them. So I created this podcast that is not about the predators, but about teaching people about them and the education behind it. And through telling my story.
See, one thing That's one thing I wanted you why I wanted you on my show. It's because you didn't let it stop you. You said, okay, learn from it, help others, and move to the next level. Because a lot of people
Yes.
are like, okay, that's it, I'm done. I'm never going to move forward. I'm not going to do nothing new. I'm going to be stuck where I am. But you're taking and say, okay, no, things happen. How do you
Yeah.
move on? And
Yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to happen right away,
Mm-hmm.
but it does happen. If you don't mind me asking, how long did it take you? What was your process?
So how long did it take me to speak out? So maybe I should tell a little bit of my story first.
Go ahead.
Okay, because then that'll answer that question. So when I was a model, I left Europe and I started working in Miami, and then I made it to New York City. And from there, I had booked a really awesome job. I was shooting a cover of a magazine. It was in the British West Indies. So I flew there with another model. And we had a break in our shooting schedule. We were there for a few days. And the other model was like, I know this incredible guy who owns an island. We got a free day. Let's go. And so, long story short, I agreed. I went over to this island. It ended up being Little St. James, Jeffrey Epstein's island. And I met him there. Everything was great, had a lot of fun. And then I ended up at the end of the evening having to do a massage that turned into an abusive massage. And so we left the island the next morning and went back to the shoot, went back to New York, and just kind of started like wanting to just suppress that memory. It was a terrible memory for me, and went through a few things in those years, and then still kind of suppressed it and didn't want to talk about it. Nobody really talked about those things back then. Even friends that I had that also had abuse from the same person. But it wasn't until 2019 until he died. And I had this reaction to it, and I'd heard obviously about the underage girls in Florida and stuff like that. So I'd already put in my mind, like, this is a very bad person. So I didn't want to think about it so much. And then in 2019, when he passed away, that's when this flood of emotions came over me. And I just wanted to figure it out. Like, what happened to me back then? What did I go through? Because for many years, I would just have this thing about Jeffrey Epstein of just, oh, he was a good guy, and I just kind of didn't want to talk about what really happened. And so I started seeing all these women speaking out about him. And so I just reached out to them and I just wanted to talk to them. And they were very open. And we kind of had this WhatsApp group with a lot of women in it. And I just wanted to, because during that time I had no support. The person I was with at that time didn't offer me any support when I started speaking out. And so I just felt really lonely and I didn't feel like I had anyone. And so I just connected with these survivor sisters because we had the same type of stories. So through that, I started building that, sense of self again and building who I was with that story and just taking that shame and I'm trying to understand it and trying to figure out what was my part in it and realizing that I was innocent, going through therapy and just doing the work on myself, by myself really, but with the help of the other survivors. So that was just what did it for me over those years, was just reconnecting with myself and then connecting with them, just trying to understand what I went through.
And then the courage that you have now to speak about it, you got this beautiful smile on and we talk and you're doing your podcast and you're doing your show. What was the light bulb for you to say, something, I'm doing a show. This is something we got to get out there. I love being on camera. Like, you do your thing, you know how to be behind camera and it all fits. When did that light bulb come on to say, enough's enough, I'm going to jump into action?
Well, that took some time. That definitely took some time. It was a couple years kind of doing documentaries, talking about other people's stories and not really mine. And then I started talking a little bit more about mine, but then I would just start crying, and I was like, I didn't know how to handle it. And I'm not a crier. Like, for years, I don't cry about anything. I'm this strong woman, but every time I would talk about my story, I would just couldn't keep it together. So I needed to work on that. And I realized there's a lot of pain in there and I just needed to get to that place. So I started doing EMDR therapy, and that was what really worked for me. Month after month, well, week after week after week, I've been in it for 7 months straight. I got to a place where I could really understand what I went through. And it wasn't just from being abused by Jeffrey Epstein in the early 2000s. It was choosing relationships that didn't end well, and just I had 2 back-to-back relationships that just were terrible. And I was like, why am I choosing these men that are just narcissistic or just don't treat me well? And it was just humiliating and hurtful. And I just couldn't understand why I was going through these relationships. So I went through one that was bad and then went through another one where I chose a guy who literally saw me on a documentary and like picked me out and was like wanting to be in a relationship with me. And all my friends were saying, isn't this weird? Like he saw you going through abuse and he wants to be in a relationship with you. But I'm like, but he cares about me and he loves me and I don't have anyone else but him. And he was my best friend. And he was like this religious guy. And so I just thought, I met the man who's like my best friend, who's caring about me. And it was a terrible relationship. He ended up being like this sociopath who was like tricking me into submission and wanting to be in a relationship with me, but really wanting to abuse me the same way Jeffrey did. And I went through this horrible relationship where I just couldn't get out of. It just was so bad. That was the reason why I wanted to speak out. It was because I was choosing bad relationships because of my shame and what I went through with Jeffrey. And I'm not a victim and I'm not blaming myself. I'm not a victim because I was choosing. I just wanted to understand, why was I choosing this narcissistic man who I loved so much, but gave me no respect? And then I chose a sociopath, basically, who just wanted to abuse me and then literally just tore my whole family apart. We were scared of this man. So I was like, enough is enough. It happened to me when I was young, but why is it still happening to me? And I'm 40s now. I'm in my 40s now. So I feel like abuse it's a lot of layers to abuse. And I don't want to be a victim about it. I want to be a survivor. And I want to say, hey, you know what? I make mistakes. People make mistakes, but there are predators out there, and they have a different take on things. They're not a normal guy. They really want to abuse and hurt you. They really want to see you go through something terrible because they have a lot of shame and they're going through terrible things too. Not to excuse their behavior, but they've got a lot of pain inside of them. So let's understand them, but through the survivor's eyes. And so speaking out to other survivors, especially right now, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Diddy Combs, and tons of music industry people and entertainment people who are predators. They're out there. And I have, thousands of survivors under those men that I've just said, thousands, because each one has hundreds. I was like, we got to do this. Somebody's going to create a podcast, where the survivors speak out. Somebody's got to do it. And everyone's like, no, Lisa, that's you. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't handle that. No, Lisa, that's you. Nobody wanted to do it. So I just said, I got to do this. I've got to do this. So I got to figure out, how am I going to do this? Because I'm still going through my story, and I'm still building up my courage. I still don't have that much support, family support. I never had a boyfriend supporting me in this kind of thing. They all just turned their hand to me. Like my boyfriend that I had just put his hand up to me and said, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want anything to do with it. And I understand, some men don't want to deal with women's pain, but I needed to be around someone I needed that. Okay. So the sociopath guy didn't work out. He was a fake supporter. And so I literally haven't really dated since then. It's been 2 years and I haven't really dated since then because the right person will come into my life who's going to be the right support for me. So I leaned on the survivor sisters and that kind of support. And that's how the podcast came about.
Do you believe that the podcast actually is helping you?
Oh gosh. Ooh, I've had 2 breakdowns during that podcast. telling my story. It's not easy to speak out. It just isn't. Even things that are 20 years ago, even things that are still on my mind from 2 years ago.
Right.
No, it's not easy to speak out about your shame because people judge and people blame you, which is okay. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. But I just believe in the empowerment of other people. I say people because it's mostly women, but there's men who are abused too.
Yes, 100%. So we have to find what we can do, take a balance, learn from it. Because listening to your story, like you say, okay, you found other people doing the same thing, then this is your calling because they're saying, yo, no, you're the person that needs to do the podcast. You're like, well, I don't know about that. I'm doing it. But you're like, okay. Then you're finding out so many other people that things happen to. You're building a relationship. But then to me, and I could be wrong, and tell me if I'm wrong, the show is actually helping you. You know what I mean? You're getting to that next level. It's helping you. You took the chance, you jumped into action, and now great things are happening.
It's so crazy how it works like that, right? It's just so crazy how it works like that. Yes, it was a big deal and a big thing to take on a podcast like this. But through it is the healing process for me. Speaking to other survivors and listening to their stories and realizing, wow, that's what I went through, or I can relate to that. It's so empowering, and it's so uplifting.
So
and it's healing.
So what's next? What's the future? Where do you see this going now? Because how many episodes have you done?
13.
All right. So, they always say a podcast, if you can get over 50 podcasts and then your 100 podcasts, you're on a roll. The first couple are always hard and, they want to stop.
Yeah.
You're getting there. So where do you want to see it going after the 50th podcast?
I just still want it to be about empowering and healing. I mean, there's a lot of stories out there, so it's going to continue for a while. But it's not just about, woe's me, here's my story. I want to be a Debbie Downer. And, it's not about that. See my smile? It's about, we went through something. We have to own the good, bad, the ugly. We have to own it, right? And it's just about embracing it. This is what happened. And this is what I learned from it. And this is how I'm going to help you. This is how I'm going to empower you. And this is how I'm going to heal you. So yeah, it might mold and shift and change as time goes on, but it's not going to change until people get it. Until I start seeing that people get it and they understand the victim turned survivor and they understand the grooming that goes on, how powerful grooming is and how it just completely takes over your mind, and the manipulation. People can be easily manipulated, when you're vulnerable, when you're going through things, and when you need to hear things from people. And then you have the ambition, you have goals. And a lot of times it's career, and these goals are bigger than the grooming because you want that. It's not for the people who are just sitting at home, making horrible comments. It's for the believer in yourself. It's for the dreamer. It's for the people who have ambition, like you doing a podcast. You're ambitious. You're the ones who want to be out there. You want to create change. And those people who are doing that, those are the ones who actually can get preyed on easier.
100%.
Because you have that big goal.
Right. They see something in you. You're different.
Okay.
I just finished doing a podcast just before yours, and we talked about having that gift. I believe that, God gives you that gift. Everybody has a certain gift, something special about you, unique, whatever. You know what your gift is?
Yes, everyone has that gift. Everyone has it. My gift, I think, is that I am very connected to people. I have just always felt that since I was little. I just feel like maybe that's why I'm good at listening and I'm the one to do the podcast. But it doesn't matter where I am. I'm going through line at Trader Joe's and people talk to me. I sit and listen to them. Even when I got somewhere to be, like a lot of times I just have empathy and I listen to people and I want to hear those stories. Sometimes, walking and I see homeless and I just feel like, oh, where did their life go wrong? Like, what happened to them? Sometimes I want to give them a water bottle or some money, and I think I feel for people, and that's my gift.
All right. So I'm taking you back, putting you in front of a big mirror. And what do you say yourself in that mirror? when you talk to Lisa and Lisa's talking back to you, what does Lisa say?
Oh, I always say I'm proud of you. Always. Because nobody really said that to me growing up, and when people say it to me, I even get teary-eyed right now. People say it to me, it just, it touches me so deeply. My kids say it to me, it's like everything. Like it's just everything to me. I just need to say that. And I say it to other people too, because they don't hear it often either.
Right.
Mhm.
All right. Shameless plug. Tell everybody where they can catch your podcast. Tell them.
From now on. So Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. And on YouTube, it's a video podcast. So it's on YouTube, From Now On Pod. Check it out. It's a meaningful, empowering, beautiful podcast.
Before we let you go, let's have some more fun. Here we go.
Oh.
Now time for Pick 3.
Now time for Pick 3.
Oh, God.
You get to ask 3 more questions. Pick the numbers between 1 and 10. And those are going to be the last 3 questions I asked you before I let you go. Give me 3 numbers between 1 and 10.
Well, it's 8, my favorite number, 7 and 3.
8, 7, 3. All right. What superpower do you wish you had and why?
Superpower. Patience. That's one thing, virtue, I'm not that great at. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not that patient with things. On things quickly.
Get it done. Let's go. Why is it happening? Why is it taking so long? All right.
Yeah.
Number 7. Give us a book or a course that really helped you right now in life.
Think and Grow Rich. I always go back to it. It's just one of my favorite books. I've read it a gazillion times. You have to really read it a lot of times to really understand it. But I feel like I've created my life through reading that book. It's been very powerful for me.
Interesting. Good choice. All right. Here's the last question. Past or present, if you can follow somebody for 48 hours, who would it be and why?
Past or present? Oh, I would love to follow Oprah. I know. It's a weird choice. I know, but I love her. I just love her resilience. And she also went through hard times, and that's the woman that she's created today. I just feel like she's just an incredible person. I would just literally love to follow her around for 48 hours.
Okay. So let's go back in time and follow yourself for 48 hours.
Ooh.
The little girl in you, if you can go back in time to little girl in you, what would you walk around and tell that little girl?
Ooh, oh boy. I would tell that little girl walking around, let's just take Jeffrey's Island. If I was on that island for those 48 hours that I went from my photo shoot to that island, I will tell that girl that it's okay to say no. And it's okay to say that this is not a good situation for me. And no matter the circumstances, that I don't have to do what anyone tells me that I have to do or need to do. And it doesn't matter if I'm trapped on an island, I would take a few steps back and I would just do everything I could to get the heck out of there. So whenever anyone's in a situation where you feel like you are trapped, I would suggest just having that power inside of you to take a stand, stay firm and say no and walk away.
Do you think peer pressure is a thing that we've growing up? Like, we talked about social media, the kids and everything. And I remember me growing up, I don't smoke or drink, but I remember growing up, everybody's like, yo, you don't smoke, you don't drink. Here, take a shot, try it, take a shot. I'm like, no, I'm good. And, you find out who your real friends are. Because after a while, people are like, oh, no, he doesn't drink. No, leave Chuck alone. Oh, Chuck, here's some ginger ale. Like you find it, but talk to everybody about the peer pressures.
Oh, peer pressure is huge. I mean, everybody goes through it. But like, again, I just said, just stand your ground. Know what you want, what your principles are, what your morals are, and just always have, something to say about it. Like I always tell my son, he's a basketball player, when someone's handing him a beer or something, just to say like, I'm an athlete, I can't do that. Just say something about yourself. That's what people say. Oh, okay. Just don't say no. Say, I'm on a different path right now. That's not what I'm doing right now. Something that defines who you are. And usually people will say, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. When you add the affirmation,
Yeah.
you tell them what's what and say, no, look, I'm on a journey. This is why I'm doing this. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just so let me ask you this before we let you go. What does success mean to you? What does success mean to you?
Freedom. Success means freedom. To me, that's the only word it means to me. It's just being able to do whatever you love to do when you want to do it. You're not working for somebody else, and someone else not telling you what to do. When you are successful, then you have the right to choose what you want to do with your life, and you're on your own path. And that's freedom.
All right. So I like boss
Yeah.
Lisa. That's right there, the boss. All right. So before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to anybody? This is your time. Give a shout out or any message you want to tell everybody. This is your moment. Go ahead.
Oh, the only person I can think about to give a shout out to, besides my lovely children, is Simone Lilchuck. She was I went through the JP Morgan fund for the victims, and she took the time to speak to all of us. And it was just an empowering moment for me that she actually took the time to sit and listen to my story, not just for me, but all the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. And I will always remember that lady. She was life-changing for me. And through that, she also gave us therapy, like free therapy for a couple years. And without that, I would have never been able to have these life-changing moments that would have encouraged me and empowered me to do the podcast. So I just would love to give a shout out to Simone Lilchuck.
There you go. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure. And I'm going to tell you this, keep smiling, because I can see every time you smile, everything comes around you. So just keep smiling.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everybody. No worries. Now, everybody, told you, you didn't have to listen. You didn't have to watch. I'm so glad you did. But here's the thing, though. You never know what someone's going through. You know, they're walking by, they're in the street, they're anything. I always tell everybody, just say hi. Give somebody a smile. Give them a wave. You never know what they're going through. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. If you liked the show or have a comment, we would love to hear from you. Join our mailing list, and as always, check out our special deals links below. I hope this has inspired you to look at your life and jump. See you next week.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.